Last night, whenever you're like, right. And it was like, doctor. I'm like, there's only one person that would get that shit.
There's only one person that you can have a conversation with, and somehow that gets to Demolition Man.
Yes. Yeah. Come on. You got to think about it. I mean, and I never thought about it until last night. If they're eating Taco Bell all the time, they need 3 cleaners. You know what I mean? 3 ways to clean your ass after eating Taco Bell, because that's all there is.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that like their Taco Bells all serve the same kind of food.
I don't know.
It was pretty upscale.
I don't know.
I didn't see a gordita in there, that's all I'm saying.
No.
There's no Crunch Wrap Supreme.
Saw a couple of dollops of guacamole on some chips.
Yeah.
And maybe some like wavy lines of mustard or some shit. I don't know what the fuck it was.
They're like, this is sriracha.
And then home dude comes up from Timothy, or Dennis Leary comes up from the underground.
Yeah.
And he gets like a whole bunch of croutons. What the fuck is that, right? They throw him some fucking croutons. I'm like, man, they didn't steal nothing else except for that fucking cereal? What the hell is that shit?
Fact.
But also, was the entire world like that, or was it just L.A.?
Well, I think, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Never thought of it. Yeah. Boom, right?
Well, they're making them 2, apparently.
Well, is Simon Phoenix going to be in that shit? He can't be. He got exploded. Like fucking.
Oh no, it can't be Simon Phoenix, but like
it could be a clone.
Could be.
Ooh, Serpentor. Oh my God, they could bring him out of retirement to fight a clone that was made up of world's greatest
villains.
He's got like Dracula in him and shit.
Attila the Hun.
Simon Phoenix.
When you texted me about rolling out today, I almost texted you because I was like, well, the dog's barking. I'll just go answer the door. But I was going to text you back. We can see it all from Lookout Mountain.
Lookout Mountain.
Lookout Mountain.
What I'm thinking is like the first delivery, they were like, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. And he was Judd Nelson, just like, oh, we'll watch it from Lookout Mountain, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of in just that like normal speech.
Right.
And then they're like, no, you got to say what it is. Fuck. Can I just say the name? Make it more prominent. Like you're proud of it.
You love Lookout Mountain.
But I'm fucking Bender, bro. I'm thinking about going out for a scholarship. He's one of the coolest fucking characters of all time.
For sure.
He's badass. Now?
Are quite good. Attack warning. Is it for real? Attack warning. It's for bloody real.
Live from Colorado Springs, the Drop Culture Podcast.
I want to confirm, is this an exercise? Roger, copy. This is not an exercise.
Come on, quick, get down. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dropped Culture Podcast. It's that podcast where we pick up that piece of pop culture you forgot about or missed, shine it up real nice, and cram it in your ear holes. I'm Dan.
I am Brock.
He is Brock. And today, we are going to continue on our glorious path.
Saga of the Apes.
Yes.
Because, yes.
So this is Escape.
Mm-hmm. It is Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did that pop?
No, it didn't pop, but it just made a great difference in the tinnitus that I was getting.
Yeah, I wanted to unplug it because it was just like, huh. Okay. No, this was the movie that I think solidified my my love for the Apes movie.
Okay.
So I this made me go ape.
See what you
You
did
know
there.
what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
It really did, because it was like, oh, okay, well, they can have different stories in the same world. It was kind of impactful because I didn't really see that much of it. You only saw, whenever you saw like a series of films, it was always the same fucking persons.
Right.
You know, this one was different. It kind of flipped it. And then it simple idea. Come on. I mean, really. They didn't break any new ground with this shit because they already established it in the first one. They just reversed it.
Right.
What a better way to keep it in the eye of the public.
They definitely put their thing down, flipped it, and reversed it for sure. As a person who's like I said before, you know, I've seen a lot of these films just in pieces.
Yeah.
Throughout the history of my life, but never really watched them to watch them. And I had no idea, like, as I said at the end of the last episode, how are they going to possibly have another Apes movie? They blew up the planet.
I know, right?
But
how would you continue it? Like, okay. Let's start here. If you were in, I don't know, a production room, right? You're hanging out with, you know, Richard P. Zanuck or some shit, right?
Sure.
You're just chilling, and they're like, damn. You know what made us a lot of money last year? Planet of the Apes. You know, and then we did Beneath, and that was still pretty good. Guess what? We need more ape, man. I mean, come on. Like, how the fuck do we continue this shit? It should have been done.
But they did it. They did it the right way.
Classy.
Yeah. They
actually invented a really cool way to do it that made sense. After you hear it, there's a lot of plot jumping from everything that you've heard before. Right. So there was a lot of differences in it, and it does change everything up. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, history is, if history's suppressed, and even though Cornelius knows everything, that changes the whole first fucking movie.
Sure.
And Zira too, right? They both know that humans could speak and there was a war and shit like that, right? And it's like, what the fuck, right?
Right.
Why didn't you say that to Taylor? What? Huh? You made him go through that shit? That sucks. But Taylor was an arrogant prick. You know what I mean? So,
fact.
I mean, honestly, they're going to treat him like shit because they still don't trust him. Right. Even Brent, they're like, same motherfucker again, man. Why can't we get somebody cool? But then when you flip it and you put the apes in our society, you see how they get Americanized, you know, celebritized.
Yeah.
And even in the 70s, I was thinking about this on the way over here, thinking, we have been smacked in the face with this fucking, you know, this, would you call it a diatribe? But just this whole deal about the American culture and I don't know, and consumerism and all that shit. And it's in every movie. Somebody's got to fucking talk about it, right?
Sure.
You know, which is cool.
Yeah.
Why haven't we fucking fixed it? I mean, this is the 70s and it's blatant. I mean, it's like seriously blatant. They're like, let's go to the Brown Derby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it. You want my picture on the wall in there? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, they're movie stars. It's the same fucking trope, but yet it was with apes.
Yep.
Makes it enjoyable, but at the same time, wake up. Why haven't we yet?
Well, I would say this movie hits a lot of like those kind of what do I want to beats, if you will, you know what I mean?
Yeah, animal rights,
women's rights.
Shit, it's so sadistic too.
Female chimpanzee rights.
Yeah, I mean, birth rights. It's very, very. There's so many things put in it, like how the president acts. Yeah. Now the president is like, listen, don't fucking kill him. If you kill him, guess what? You know, they haven't had due process. We still owe them that, even whenever he briefs them all.
Well, I want to say that most of the people, like even like when they're in trial, and we'll get to that, you know, and all that, like are pretty quick to be like, this is what we do to gorillas now. And they did that then, you know, like they were understanding.
Yeah, they got it.
Except for Douche Magoo.
Yeah.
Who we'll get to later.
It was literally like, it was the acceptance that they had versus what Taylor had. Now, and I was thinking, again, this was something that I did like pay attention to, seeing how Taylor was kind of put on trial in a weird way. They weren't. They were. It was more accepting, and we accepted them faster than they accepted us.
Yeah,
and it's kind of it's in that weird vein. Like we're supposed to know that there was the feud's gone all the way till then. You know, like it's always there, and we still treat animals like shit.
Well, and I will say that the ape community was a lot more militant because of the gorillas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And even the one dude's like, "What do you mean? Aren't you all monkeys the same?" It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Right.
I want to see Cornelius say that a couple of times. Listen, bitch.
Well,
Listen
unless
here.
somehow they resurrect him for the 4th movie, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
No, and psst, don't tell Dan. No, I really like this movie, and I always have, but I just never really paid attention to it like I have past couple of weeks, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Really, it just made a lot more sense because there's so many similarities between Planet of the Apes and Escape from Planet of the Apes. Like Star Wars and the Rise of Skywalker. What is the Force Awakens?
Or whatever the prequel, what was the first? Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace.
All the same.
There we go.
All three the same.
All three the same fucking movies. This wasn't, but yet they used it.
Yeah, they just like you said, they took the same trope, but just reversed it.
Yeah. One of my theories on what this movie did, and that'll be something I use in my wrap up.
It is wrap up, guys.
But yeah, it's about how, you know, you really just look at the studio system. They were just putting out shit. They didn't give a shit. They really didn't care. You know,
right.
I mean, there was this one was really cool because there was only 2 apes. You know, they were like, holy shit, look at all this money we're going to save.
Right. 3 apes.
Right. But it still took 3.5 hours to apply the shit from 4. They shaved an hour off.
There's 4 apes. Because you know that gorilla wasn't a real gorilla.
No. Or the female
chimp. Yeah, so
chimpanzee.
There's 5 gorillas minimum.
The gorilla didn't look like a gorilla. Yeah. Just looked like a man in a gorilla
5
suit.
apes, I should say. Yeah.
Yes. With Captain Comb-Over in that shit. Damn. And he gets all pissed off because Dikembe Mutombo's the fucking banana. She's like, what? Not in my house. That's what I was seeing in my head. I was just like, that's fucking great. But the trepidation of them as being intellectuals and scientists, they were collecting the information before they did speak, except for Zira could never hold her tongue. So it's just inherent in her character, which is so cool because if you get to know that character so far, you're like, oh, yeah, she's going to fucking blow it. She's just going to fucking blow it.
There's always one in a group, right?
Yeah. And Dr. Milo, which he is the newer character in it, which was really cool. And it's Sal Mineo, of course, you know, I mean, a big time dude from back in the day. He was on Rebel Without a Cause. Yeah. You know, he was always that little shy teenager. I don't know what it was, but it was a very intellectual, like, hey, you know, this guy knows what he's talking about. so you already have understanding on both sides. That's kind of where I was getting with that, because Taylor, they didn't really have that understanding. They just wanted to end it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought as well. And Braden's character, what's his name? Otto Heidlein.
Otto Hesslein.
He's kind of like, kind of like the gorillas were.
He's like Zaius.
Yeah,
he's Zaius, 100%. Yeah, no. Those character similarities in that part, because they were really kind of trying to put that stuff.
Yeah, so Dr. Hesslein, very much like Zaius.
Yep.
Right?
All about killing the information before it even gets out.
Exactly.
Even though the whole world knows that they exist. So what the fuck is up with that, right? I mean, simply allowing them to live, okay. But why would we even? There's two things that really kind of get me at the very beginning, that they portray humans, or at least the ones that are in charge of getting them out of the water and military and shit like that, as assholes,
Right.
dummies. Because first indication that they're intelligent, they're putting on clothes.
Yeah.
If I was the guard, I'd be like, okay, so do you speak? Why the fuck not, right?
Right.
Totally omit that shit. 100%. They omit that. And then the second indication, same scene. They actually cut a fucking orange,
Yeah.
and start peeling it.
Like with plates and knives and forks.
I would have been like, well, guess what? These guys are intelligent. Let's let them out.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. But we didn't do that. But it's our own avarice that kills us in this whole series as well.
True. But I would say that the apes have the same avarice.
Yep. Yeah.
The end
Oh,
of
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Society is society is society. Blah, 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 blah.
And nobody really knows the actual truth of when the war started. But we know, because battle was basically that war. And the Earth ended after that. So Taylor's arrival pretty much signaled the end.
Right.
Their arrival pretty much signaled the end for us as well.
You mean beneath?
Yeah.
I
Well, I
haven't
mean,
seen battle yet. That's why I was like, no, that can't be.
No. Yeah.
You can't throw that at me.
But it was I thought that this movie had a lot of social commentary.
Absolutely.
Like I was kind of saying, there's so much social commentary on the same things. I'm like, for real? Why aren't we? It's normal now. But you want to get into this movie?
Yeah, but before we do, I wanted to tell you where I remembered. What's this? Otto
Hessline.
Hessline. Thank you.
Hessline.
I always, for some reason, Henline always hits my head. Otto Hessline. He was the doctor in Colossus, the Forbin Project. Have you ever seen that?
Is that the one with Anne Heche?
No, this is way old.
Okay, no, I don't think so.
It's about a computer. It's like kind of Skynet, but like in the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The
I read a
giant
little bit
computer.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But he's the main dude. So that's where I was like, oh, it's that guy.
see, I never watched that show. I never saw it.
Well, I had never seen this, so it
evens out.
Yeah, let our powers combine.
Well, I guess we can go through the cast real quick.
Sure.
Roddy McDowell's back.
Guess who's back?
But, I read a little fact last night from IMDb that I thought was pretty interesting that would be nice to follow up on. But he got in trouble, I think in maybe the 80s and 90s. I didn't really see the date and probably need to read the autobiography. But he got busted supposedly for black market movies.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, huh. And even he was surprised. But he got into it and he bought Errol Flynn's personal movies.
Okay.
So he has these movies that are out of print. He's kind of like an archivist at that point. And there was other people like directors, and there was a whole bunch of other people that were named in the same deal. But he was taking them off the film, putting them onto VHS. He wasn't distributing them. You know, he was 100% trying to preserve all of this history that you couldn't find anywhere. And I don't think he got into any real trouble. And apparently there was a fucking black market on that shit.
Really?
Has to still be, there's probably some really crazy shit out there. But I thought that was a really cool thing. He's like preserving shit. Yeah.
And he wasn't in the second movie because he was busy directing his own film.
The first one. Yeah. Which we talked about on that. Then, of course, you got Kim Hunter.
Yep.
She's back.
Back again.
She's been around forever. Everybody knows that. Natalie Trundy's back. We'll go with all the same people.
Yeah.
Natalie Trundy, she was actually the blonde-haired woman beneath.
Right.
But then she stays on for the rest of these movies as well. Not the same character, but
she's a different character in every movie?
The last two, no.
Okay.
First two, yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you got Sal Mineo, which we already talked about. Old school dude. Eric Braeden, which he changed his name. He was a total East German dude, you know what I mean? Or West German, something like big time.
Yeah.
I think all of his original roles was Nazis, but then he became Victor on, what is it? The Young and the Restless?
Yes.
Ooh.
And Dr. Forbin on Colossus.
Paging Dr. Herman. You got a telephone call at the front desk. Emmett Walsh is in this.
Yes.
Which he's been in so much shit, and it's pretty cool to see him in his younger self in like a very, very early role. It's still the same dude.
Yep.
John Randolph. Okay, he was the chairman, head of the chairman, or head of the committee, the presidential committee on them. So he was the one that was talking to him. Was like, oh, he pointed to her and she stood.
Right.
And it's like they're in front of your fucking face, and he's like, which one is the female? She fucking stood up.
Right.
Come on, no. But he's been in a whole bunch of different stuff, and I always equate him with those like all the Mel Brooks dudes.
Yeah.
This somehow it's in there. I don't know why.
I could see that.
But then
a lot of the people in this are, they had big careers, but it was like they were in lots and lots of TV shows, and just minor movies, but they were movies from that time, you know what I mean?
Well,
or
and
before that time, like
the
50s and 60s.
Yeah, the one guy that we didn't really talk about was the Bradford Dillman, the guy that played the good guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was in a lot of stuff, a lot of Murder, She Wrote and shit.
He was in Piranha.
With home dude, Braden.
Yeah.
Otto or whatever.
Victor.
But, Victor. But, which is it, and he always was like a good guy in most of the stuff. I don't think he was ever a bad guy. And plus, he wears wears pants like he's walking across a lake. They're so high up. There's one scene in here where they're like paging, Dr. Herman.
Mr. Herman.
Yeah.
Mr. Herman to the front desk.
Come see Mr. Hasline. And it looks like he literally just walked out of a lake. His pants are so high. They are so high. Like you can see the top of his boots.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Cowboy boots. Because they're comfy.
Sure.
Maybe he started the trend. But but really, all in all, I mean, there's a lot of familiar faces, a lot of really cool things in there. Things that you don't see, the actors. It was all kind of like a family at this point, especially if you have the two leads,
right?
That are kind of back for it. Like I said, they shaved off some time. Sal Mineo hated the makeup, so that's why he got killed off.
Well, think how much budget you saved not having a Charlton Heston.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because this movie was made for $2 million, I think.
Something like that, or 2.6 or something crazy small.
Yeah.
And it was enough
because I think they made 12. Yeah, it's $2 million. They made 12.3.
Yeah, so it was a profit. That's why they went ahead with the next one too.
Yeah,
that's because they're like, well, shit, still making
money. Yeah,
might as well.
We're gonna keep making these till nobody's watching.
Right, and they always start and they always hit it number one too.
There you go,
which is crazy. But what was I gonna say? Yeah.
This moment of reflection is brought to you by Mataint. Nothing fresher than Mataint.
Smell that difference.
This is Dr. Zira, her loving husband Cornelius, and little Milo. The most dangerous to man is little Milo.
Look how cute he looks.
The time is 1973. The place is right here on
You
Earth.
need rocket boosters to get that shit out of the atmosphere, right?
Welcome, gentlemen, to the United States.
There he is. In it all.
Escape from the planet of the apes.
What a reveal, though.
Their adventures are completely fresh, completely new.
But how did they get their feet in those fucking deals, man? Because their toes, like...
The planet of the apes. At first, feared and imprisoned.
Squished him in.
There's Captain Comb over. You missed him. There he is. Right in the middle. Huh? I would have got confused on the second one. No shit.
What?
All right. We'll go for the banana.
Well, why
doesn't she take it?
Because I loathe bananas.
I don't believe it.
He almost passes out too. Did you see him? He's like,
In the
oh.
name of God, we know
But he was
that
probably
unless
nutting.
We communicate. We can speak, so I spoke.
First time he's touched a woman.
He's like, oh. Ah, shit. That part right there. Yeah, whoa, savage.
The special board of inquiry.
Have you a name?
Zira.
Yo,
Does
mama.
the other one talk?
Only when she lets me.
Oh.
Embraced by our civilization, the nation gives them a hero's welcome.
Address, please.
The zoo.
We get the cheese, which is cool.
Well, it's sort of like grape juice plus.
That dude's a fucking Cosby asshole for doing that shit. You know, for real. Like, grape juice plus. No, you tell her it's fucking alcohol, dummy.
Every incredible moment.
But he's a good guy, too.
Must have been the shock.
Shock my foot. I'm pregnant.
Oh,
The
shit.
president's chief advisor wants them murdered, or else the
Even
human
the
race
museum
cannot
dude
survive.
looks like he works in a fucking museum.
The escape. The birth of an infant who could threaten man's very existence.
You're the second human I've kissed.
You are the first.
Gross.
The relentless chase.
At least like
Lead up to it?
Cornelius's was like a pet.
Yeah, I know.
Climax.
Zira's like straight making out with humans all the time. A little too much tongue, Zira. Calm down.
I want to lick your gums. Gross.
I want that baby. If you won't give me
Fucking savage right here.
Washington
Oh!
thrown into a turmoil by this one baby. Escape from the planet of the apes.
From Applejack Productions. That was the trailer for the
That
movie
was the
we're
trailer.
watching. Isn't that? I mean, it seems exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, a lot of the cheese pieces, like in that one section of the movie, were in this
Yes.
trailer,
And
which
then
is fine.
Yeah,
That probably got a bigger draw from people outside of.
that's exactly what I was thinking. 100%. I was like, oh yeah, that brought them back. They're like they're in our own fucking world now?
What?
Huh?
Well, one thing these movies do is like every one of them has some sort of a striking image, right? So like in the first one, I would say like the Statue of Liberty at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this one, it's them coming out of taking their helmets off
Yep.
outside of the spaceship,
Standing in front of that spaceship, all
Yep.
three of them, just like, huh?
right?
Don't take off your mask. Dude, it'll be so cool. How did they plan that shit
I don't know.
in the spaceship? They're like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Just start screaming at them.
Throw something at them. We ain't got nothing. I just barely fit my feet into these things. I mean, for real. That was one, logistically, I was like, that doesn't work. No, they'd still be wearing their 8 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
Because whenever Cornelius is relaxing, see him right there, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go, christen a new ride, open a new ride at Disneyland.
Right?
You can go watch your prize fight. Pretty cool.
I don't think he enjoyed the fight. So.
Nah, hell no. He's like savage. And the other dude's like, oh, yeah, I got your old lady drunk last night. Ah, it was so rude. Dude,
Don't
watch your
worry,
bunch.
I'm the good guy.
It was so cool. I told her it was grape juice plus.
She's addicted now.
Yes. I got a strange craving. That almost made me think about, too, they had to have alcohol. The apes did.
Oh, you would think.
Yeah. I mean, we've had alcohol since the beginning of time.
Yeah, yeah.
First time somebody was like, damn, that stinks.
Drink it. Drink it.
I'm thirsty. Oh, Jesus. Hit harder than mammoth on coke.
I'm going to have some more.
Yes. Give me another drink. They actually, I don't know. It would have been a really cool experience to go see this in the theater. Because why not?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of movies where, like, 60s, 70s specifically, that I think it would have been cool to be in, like, a 60s, 70s theater watching them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
50s movies, too, because some of the old horror movies would have been super cool.
Where we have balconies. Yeah, we went and saw Indiana Jones, and it was not the same.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about that after we talk about this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, But yeah, the old feeling of the theater with the wax cups and shit like that.
Yeah.
Watching this would be fucking cool as fuck. You know what I mean?
For sure.
They just really actually, again, it kind of, to me, it roped me into the whole deal. So
yeah. Well, I think that, again, I think that some of the action pieces are pretty good. You know, it's not a lot of action in this movie.
Mm-mm.
It's mostly social disposition, or not disposition. That's not the word.
being mentally divergent.
Well, just
they were different.
they're
Yeah,
just
so
definitely making social statements, throughout the movie, which is fine.
it was
I think that's good.
a reflection. Yeah,
Science fiction often is
Yeah.
a reflection of what's going on in the actual societies that we're in now.
Yeah, it
it's
should
always
be.
been that way.
yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
You know,
But yeah, I think you get them. I think the explanations are pretty good. I was searching on Reddit or something. I don't remember. It was a review. I take that back, of this movie, and they were like, "How did they figure out how to fly that rocket?
right?
Or where did they get a rocket?"
I don't know. They're talking fucking apes, dude.
Well, first of all, he said the question actually was, where did they get that rocket? Well, they explained that
Yeah.
pretty easily. It's Taylor's rocket.
Yep. They took it out of the bottom of the lake.
Right.
Fucking and Home Dude learned how to fly it.
And yeah. And Milo's a genius.
Right. Yeah. He's Albert Einstein and Leonardo da Vinci put into one.
Absolutely.
Which was weird too, because I was thinking about that, and when I was reading about it, that came up. He was supposed to be like a Da Vinci, and I'm like, that fucking totally makes sense.
That makes complete sense, yeah.
You need something, and there's gonna be people like that. And Ape City, the only part of Ape City that we saw was like, I don't know, Lakewood or some shit. You know what I mean? It was just like a small community outside of fucking major Ape City, you know? So we don't really get to see a lot of where they were from, shit like that, right? But then them getting absorbed by our culture was very easy.
And that's
them.
well, and you think about it, like I know this is pre this, but like I think of movies in like the 80s. Almost every movie where someone came from overseas, they got swept up into what our culture was, right?
Right.
All those there's tons of movies like that.
Yeah.
Right? Very tropey now.
The Terminal.
Not quite what I was thinking of, but sure.
I know.
But that fish out of water and being caught up in, and a lot of them have to do with our consumerism and,
Right.
like that. And I don't know that was so much, I mean, it was somewhat consumerism, but really about the societal.
Yeah. They were getting treated,
right?
Yeah, they landed in America, and what are we going to do? We're going to show them hospitality. They probably ate ribs and shit. You know what I mean?
I wonder what it would have been like if they would have landed in like 1973, right? Is when it was. That's in this movie.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like Russia.
Ooh. Or what if they would have landed in New York City? They would have gotten fucking killed as soon as they got off the goddamn spaceship on Rockaway Beach or some
cops
shit.
Showed up, the ship would have been up on cinder blocks.
Yes. It's
and they would have had no clothes.
Yeah. They're somewhere in fucking Staten Island. Nobody even knows they exist. They have to run.
I thought it would have been cool. So one of the things we haven't even got. I don't know how if we're going linear in the story, if we're just talking at this point.
We'll see.
Well, one of the things that I love is Ricardo Montalban in this movie, the circus
dude. He's the
guy.
shit.
He's awesome, and his plan is that he's going to take them with him to Florida. After everything goes on, to the Everglades where they could live, and it's mentioned a couple times.
Can I smoke that?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
They mentioned that a couple times, and I thought, man, how cool would it have been if the movie actually ended where they got to the Everglades? Then, no more sequels until about 10 years later after Project X comes out.
Ooh. Shit. Damn, you had me all the way up into there, and I was like, son of a bitch. Fucking Project X.
Well, isn't that what they did? Those release the chimps into the...
I think so, yeah. Yeah, they basically...
monkeys or whatever they were.
Yeah, but they're flying monkeys. Why were they putting them in airplanes? Jesus.
Suck.
fucking 80s military industrial complex.
Yeah, war games.
Bitches. But no, yeah. I don't know. I guess we can go linear on this. If you want to start at that opening scene, we can kind of dissect that a little bit because that opening scene, again, you see the same beach, the same everything that you're used to. So you're like, oh, yeah, it's a wrap up.
Right.
They're going to give us a little fucking pickle tickle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, whoa, hey, it's the same kind of movie. But when they do that reveal and everybody's like, holy shit.
Like the officer, the general that comes up at the beginning, he doesn't even say words. He just walks away and gets on the phone.
Yes.
Gets on the radio. Or
get
whatever.
the zoo ready? I mean, honestly, what would your reaction be?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, like as far as I would want to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, first,
of course.
or attempt.
If I saw 3 apes get out of a spaceship that somebody on Earth built and then walked off of it, stood in a line, I'd be like, okay, you guys are fucking intelligent, right?
What happened?
Yeah. So tell me what's going on. How'd you get here?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't fucking know. But still, I mean, it's just they kind of just jump to that immediate deal like they did with Taylor. So that's one of the first similarities that they get put into a jail like he does.
A little different though.
Yeah. Their reveal was still the shocking part towards the humans like it was to Taylor at that point. You know, when Taylor saw the ape for the first time.
Right.
And then just like Brent and everything else, everybody has that shock value. But then the whole world fucking knows because they came from outer space. You know, they thought they were the astronauts. They thought it was really Taylor on that ship.
Right.
You know, so, and which is a weird deal. There must exist a time paradox portal, you know, somewhere in the vicinity of our Earth that they use that trajectory every fucking time, right?
Right. They get caught up in whatever that.
Yeah. Milo just went backwards.
Right.
He was like, go back to the point of origin, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, cool. And then it's like it's always going to keep happening. People are always going to hit that little time warp and we're going to end up somewhere. So this is one of the realities is kind of fucked up. But yeah, that opening scene, badass. And then you kind of get into them being cheeky and not really saying shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want to say anything.
Playing their cards close to their vest, if you will.
Big time. Big time. Which is really cool. And I thought that was awesome that they were... Taylor couldn't talk because he was going to the whole time. So that's one of those disassociated kind of little deals.
Right.
And they could, but they just chose not to for a little while, you know, just to kind of, and it was smart of them to kind of take a look.
I think Milo's the one that said that.
Yeah, he actually, he solves the whole fucking riddle within the first 2 seconds they're in jail. He's like, I think we went backwards in time to the same Earth. And you're like, holy shit, thanks for explaining everything, Doc.
Now you're dead.
Done. Gone.
That's when that gorilla grabs him from behind and chokes the fucking life out of him.
Almost. Yeah. When they get moved to the zoo,
yeah,
I think is whenever in the second day in the zoo with Captain Comeover.
Yeah,
because Captain Comeover walks in, he throws the fucking orange to the gorilla, you know, and they mention it, and Natalie Trundy and the doc are on their way through the zoo to go meet him. And they're like, oh, and then they ate with knives and forks. Didn't think that was anything, but then he was like, and one of them had a rudimentary carpet bag. They're like, fucking intelligent goddamn creatures. Right. So they were there. They already knew it.
Well, and then he does all the tests. Like, which block was it? Hey, which 7 blocks was it? Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm confused now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like I don't know. It's she does that normally with humans, right? So she's like, I fucking know this shit, and then she builds the whole deal.
She plays that weird game of perfection.
Yes,
and then builds stairs.
Yeah, it takes her 2 seconds to figure that out. She's like, you can see her like looking, and it's boom, 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 boom.
She's using 2 hands.
Yeah. Doctor's like, I can't even fucking do that. And then she talks, and then Natalie Trundy almost like, oh. Yeah, home dude faints too.
Yeah.
They go outside.
I loathe banana.
Because I simply loathe bananas. Apparently that came from behind the scenes. Because from the first movie, people would always just bring them bananas as a joke.
Gotcha.
And be like, yeah, fucking
it's
assholes.
funny the first time.
Yeah, it was funny the first 14.
I have a lot of bananas now.
Yeah, it's been 5 years, dick. But yeah, and then that's when Milo gets killed.
Killed by the gorilla.
Yeah, which they don't even really think too much about it.
No.
I mean, they start getting riled up. He gets riled up, and he just just fucking chokes him.
Yeah.
Breaks his neck, probably just chokes him to death.
I don't know.
And they don't do shit.
No, just watch.
Yeah, they just watch him die, and then they kind of get to know the doctor a little bit more after that. Then they have their inquiry, and they're still like not telling anybody about anything.
Right.
And I don't even know where they're sitting, like City Hall or some shit.
Something.
So they have a presidential committee to figure out what to do with them.
Yes.
Which I'm still kind of like, that's fucked up. Because then we get the presidential brief too, The presidential brief, he comes in and he's like, all right, this is going to destroy my credibility.
Right.
Okay.
I actually like the president.
Yeah, exactly.
He was very
level-headed. Yes, 100%. And I thought that was a really good portrayal of what a president should do. Yeah, it's like, hey, they're not guilty until we find hard evidence.
Right.
But yeah, he comes in there. He's like, this is going to sound fucking crazy, but we got apes. And they're like, really? Like what?
And they talk.
And they fucking talk. And yeah. So it's kind of weird.
In our spaceship.
Yeah. Came down in Colonel Taylor's shit. And we still don't know how they got here. So in front of the commission, instead of like the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil kind of a deal, you still have the absurdity of the people at the table not realizing they're talking to a fucking intelligent creature,
right?
In chains.
And the vet doc, he's like, no, maybe you need to rephrase the question. Yes. Because he's doing all gets up, comes and sits down, does all the things, right?
Right.
And then he rephrases the question, then she talks.
Yeah, what he said about it was it's up to you to decide how they can use it.
Right.
Because they can talk. It's up for you to decide on it, right. Which is, it's pretty smart. And it's an intelligent script too. It's a pretty intelligent,
Agreed.
Movie. Which whenever they talk and then, they get kind of cheeky, he's like, when she lets me. I'm like, you son of a bitch. He knows how to warm the hearts.
Yeah, he's working the crowd.
No shit, right? And even the dudes, just like Zayas and all them, is like, tell them to shut up, when that silence the prisoner. They don't do that. Right. Americans kind of more acceptance because they had the crowd behind them. Mm-hmm. Once you win the love of the people, it's easy to influence. Right. And and
they get the standing ovation.
Yeah,
let them go or whatever.
They have 2 overhead shots, like the first one where they kind of pan back and it's like them talking, and then the second one is like they're like, ha, look at us, They did a pullback shot from above, and then they really kind of get into with the doctor, the 2 doctors, right, and they start spilling some more beans. They don't really talk about Taylor at that point, but
they still don't mention Taylor.
Yeah, because she fucks up in the middle of her speech, and she's like dissect, studied. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of trip ups in there, but
talking about humans,
right, because we know she's been experimenting on them
sure.
her whole life. That's how she learned all about them. Right. We get to find out how much, like a lot. But then, whenever they ask him, how did you come to be? Why are you speaking English? And he's like, it's the language that has been taught to me by my forefathers.
Yeah, he's like, English.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. About? It's the only language I know.
Right.
And then he drops the scrolls a little bit. We kind of know about some shit. Does he at that point, or does he wait? I think he talks about the scrolls late. I know he does later.
Does talk about the scrolls then.
Yeah, something about knowing that Earth was dominated by them before, right? And she's even like, listen, don't be a dipshit, because he starts bringing in the theological aspect of it, like we were made in his image. She's like, no, fuck you, stop it. This is how you, as an intellectual, which I thought that was fucking cool as shit too, to really just have that contradiction in it and seeing both of them as scientists, but one of them kind of like playing by the rules and the other one like, nah, shut the fuck up, man.
Right.
No, it should not be like this, which I thought was really cool. And that gives Zira, I don't know, status as a, to me.
As an atheist?
No. Like as a embodiment of the feminist movement kind of a deal. You know, at that point, it's like, listen. Right. You know what I mean? Mind the cheekiness of, when she lets me.
I think back, like, if I had watched this with, like, my uncle. And the comment that probably would have came out of his mouth, yeah, but she couldn't shut her fucking mouth up.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
Wow.
Imagine how crazy it is to live in that world.
That's what I'm saying.
I know,
right?
we did.
Especially that was before I was born, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, no, yeah. But no. I know exactly what you mean. We're one of the last generations that had that shit.
Right.
Like, handily available, and you're like, that's not right.
Right.
And then you get older and you're like, it really isn't right.
No, yeah. That didn't just seem wrong. It
Right.
was wrong.
Right. So they make fast friends with America.
Right.
Pretty much.
And then they go on their whirlwind, getting dressed up and
shopping sprees.
And
they didn't show them eat, because they went back to the cell.
Yeah.
And because they were watching it, and it was the nightly news, right? And Zira kind of is like, good
and that's
night.
when they tell them, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like,
apparently
nah.
That's how the news comes to you when you're...
Yeah.
Like, nobody officially tells you, it's just on the news.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, oh, we got a hotel?
Wow, we're fucking leaving? Great.
Yeah.
Great, let's go.
Holy shit, I found here first. So, yeah, they get put into the hotel, which is kind of fucked up because... in the hotel, they give them a jungle gym, but it's not really a jungle gym. No. It's more of like a seesaw.
Yeah.
And
that was so weird because they were having that party,
and the dude bails on that woman.
I know,
like fucking nothing, dude.
And they're like on that like weird
Well, there's the one woman.
Why? Why is that there?
Well, there's the one woman
crazy kids
that's riding the stationary bike.
Yeah,
and there's like 5 guys standing around her. And she's like, ha. And then the one fucking asshole dude bails on the woman at the very top, and he's like, he looks back like he's just walking away from a fucking explosion. It's like, yeah, like I fucking showed her.
I'm out of here.
Too many crab legs. No, but I thought that was kind of weird. They give them a whole bunch of toys, food, and then they show them around the town.
Great plus,
yeah. Ooh, come on, that was a pretty shaky move. I think anybody would have made it. You know what I mean? You're like, maybe they have something like this, and they'll like it. Right. She's like, whoa, what's your favorite fruit? Grapes. And then she gets insulted right to her face and laughs it off.
Yeah.
She's like, you think I'm a pet? He's like, well, yeah. And she's like, oh, insult me. I'm a bipedal organism that's smarter than you.
See, I think isn't that right that in the 60s and maybe even in the early 70s, pet was a like term of affection, like, come on, pet.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I think.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Well,
and I don't know that, but that's how I took it.
Well, she was from the magazine, the quarterly pet magazine, or Grape Soda Quarterly or whatnot.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Sponsored by Grape Plus.
Yes. Grape Juice Plus.
Grape Juice Plus.
And then so she gets along, and even they ask,
why isn't that a t-shirt?
I know, right?
The Grape Juice Plus t-shirt. Let's go.
Yes, it's wine. What is that? It's wine. Shut up, baby. I know. But then they even ask him too. They're like, what do you think of human women? And he's like, okay. They're nice. They're like, it's like, I've seen them all before.
Right.
And they don't wear clothes in my place. What is this shit?
Right.
And then, of course, they do not discuss the fact that they have fucking plumbing.
They do not.
It's the one thing that I was thinking about the whole time, and it just popped in my head. I was thinking, but they do show her in the tub, soaking in the bubble bath.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, how is that? Relaxing. What kind of wet?
Yeah. Very wet. No shit.
You're sitting in water.
Right. You have the amenities to, like, I don't know, in a hotel like that, to fucking do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
I mean, and you're apes in this, and you're like, I'm just going to put on this really colorful robe. And you know what? I'm going to go shit in a toilet. and then take a bath.
I'm just wondering how smelly the Planet of the Apes is.
She smells everything. She makes at least 3 comments about smells in this.
Well, I meant them as a society.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How would we know? So her olfactory shit is like heightened.
Right.
And she doesn't smell them.
Right.
She smells a gorilla. She smells a human. She smells all that shit. Right. But then.
Like if you're in the ape society where none of them take baths and they're just waiting for it to rain, I guess. I don't know. Go swim in a lake. I don't know what they're doing. It's fucking weird.
It's like, we don't bathe. We wait for it to rain. It hasn't rained in 3 years. Just smells like patchouli. The whole fucking place does. Patchouli oil and fucking...
Smells like 90s high school? What?
Yeah. They all got hacky sacks. And they're like, hey, where can I get a hack? What's going on? Anybody want a hack? Sure, man. Let's go smoke a cigarette.
Catch you later.
Catch you later, dude. But I mean, it's really interesting, the absorption of how fast we absorb these people.
Yeah.
You know, because they are people, but we still don't treat them like fucking people in a weird way. The government still doesn't see it as that, or at least Dr. Hesseline doesn't.
Right. That's more the fact.
They mentioned Dr. Hesseline in the first one.
Oh, really?
Because they were talking about Hesseline's theory. They were talking about that, and that's who it was, I guess. And he's like...
I guess I missed that.
Yeah.
Why would I have known?
Yeah. If you've seen it as many times as I have.
Well, I'm saying, like, for me, who's really...
Yeah, I've seen it.
I've seen the first one a lot.
Yeah.
But I just
didn't put it together.
Point of reference.
Right.
Yeah.
No. I forgot about it until the other night. I was like, oh, yeah, that's him. Dr. Hesseline. But then, then all of a sudden, you know, he gets Zira drunk, too. So that's fucked up. He, like... Dr. Hesseline actually does like roofie fucking Zira at one point.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of fucking weird. She's like, I got a strange craving because she passes out in the fucking museum looking at this weird caricature of a fucking gorilla.
Yeah.
It was like they gave the project to a 5-year-old class. And it was like, make a gorilla. You know what a gorilla?
Maybe it was from like the 5th century.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, it was just like a primitive
Which is
fucking
very
deal.
similar to kindergarten. So.
She passed out. I'm pregnant. We didn't even know.
No.
Didn't even see that shit.
Nope.
So time has passed a
I hadn't
lot.
seen the poster for it, so I didn't know for sure.
Right. And there's literally...
Or the preview.
This movie doesn't get into timeline. It's like everything happens in 3 days.
It's pretty quick. Well,
yeah.
I mean, the whole movie was filmed in 6 weeks, so you didn't have a lot of...
Yeah, and you really couldn't put a lot of extra things in it.
Yeah.
But... yeah, no, she like literally passes out. She goes there. He pours her a full glass, you know, and she's like, wait a minute. I'm not supposed to drink that much. She's like, don't worry. It's a relaxant.
Yeah.
What? Is that what they call that shit? He's a doctor. She's a doctor. And then she proceeds to get drunk while he has that really cool spy fucking microphone. He's like,
I'll smoke.
What if I smoke?
But I shouldn't, given your condition.
Yeah, you hear her in the background too. She's like, okay. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, for real.
Doesn't take much wine to get this gal drunk.
One drink. That's why I'm thinking it's like...
Maybe they don't have alcohol where they're in the ape land.
They reference it after that too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he brings his fucking findings to the goddamn president.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, and even the president's like, dude, it's in fucking 2,000 years. What do you? What does this even matter?
Would you kill Adolf Hitler when he was a baby?
Yes, and he even says something about he's like, we condone the killing of Hitler because we knew he was wrong. So he kind of introduces that part into it. I think in a way he's altruistic. Mm-hmm. But then in another way, it's the Zayas type of a deal. It's that same kind of a paradox. Yeah, it's the same kind of paradox. Right. But before all of this happens... Oh, wait. Yeah, the interrogation part. Remember when they bring him into the interrogation deal for bullshit, right? And it's dark, and it's like, we saw a big white light. Was it darker than this?
I know, right?
Was it brighter than this? And they're like...
Dick?
Cornelius actually drops a bomb on him, and they reference it later too on the commission after they have their findings, you know. So Cornelius is like, listen, it wasn't our war, we didn't start it. And she's like, yeah, I should have said it wasn't our war, but they were fighting it or some shit like that. And we should have said we knew Taylor and all this other stuff, right? And then he really kind of drops the scroll bomb on him, and he's like, "Yeah, I had knowledge that nobody else did because I was privy to these scrolls." So he kind of breaks it down that the reason why everything kind of happened was because there was a virus or a plague that struck
the dogs, right?
Dogs first, and then it got felines. So, and the way he says it too is so fucking perfect. He's like, and then, you know, you knew you couldn't take a human's pets away. They weren't standing for that. So they had to find something else. Right. And then they found us. And the dude's like, you could teach a fucking sheep herder dog to do that shit. And he's like, fuck you. No, you can't.
To be a server, to
go get the groceries, to go do all of this shit. And then he's like, and they're like, so then what happened? Well, the one thing that always happens, unity. We
learned about slavery.
Yeah. The killer for that slavery is unity, and which is fucking profound too, right, you know, to think about that they were in the same way. And then he also mentions the ape does not kill ape type of a situation, everything like that. Yeah, but man kills man. We know it. Right. And some
apes kill apes.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah. But they really do break it down. They're like, there's no fucking way anybody survived. It's all the way this and there. Yeah. And he's like, I didn't even know she was pregnant. And then, of course, the committee convenes. And they're like, and he reads off a deal. And like I said, he mentions it. He says that the male of the species was very forthcoming and articulate with the way that he gave us the information. It was very well learned, you know, kind of a creature or something, person. Right. You know, so, and then he was like, well, and then the woman, not so much. Yeah. So it's in the best interest that we kill the baby, because Dr. Hessline's like, this is his whole deal when he briefs the president, and the president's like, give me hard facts. Do it now. And he's like, okay, my testimony, if this baby chimp comes out, that their species could crossbreed with our species of a primitive ape, no problem. I'm like, what? Why would... No. I mean, okay, so they're there. They get dropped off in the Congo, right? Do you think fucking their kid's going to go fuck another ape? I don't think so.
Even if he does? Like, we're talking how many generations before you have a proliferation of smart ape humanoid creature things, right?
Fucking,
smart apes.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while.
Should. And this dude's like, where? Yeah. He's like, so this is why I think we should do it. And the president reluctantly says he's going to kill the kid. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up.
That's when he gives him the Adolf Hitler story.
Yeah. Yeah. He's literally like, I'm going to fucking kill him. I'm like, damn it. But this is part 2. And so after we learn all of this, so my theory of how everything starts and the catalyst and the linchpin in the whole entire series relies on one simple, small, itty-bitty, idiosyncratic scene.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense. They're walking in from the street when they're getting their little parade deal, you know, and they're going to the hotel. They walk in. She looks over to the right of her, and there's a little dog right there, and the dog's like, row, row, row. So the woman that has the dog grabs the dog, right?
Right.
Okay. So we know that the virus killed dogs first.
Right.
And then killed felines. Where did that virus come from? How did it start? Okay. They introduced it right there. How would they have introduced a virus that doesn't exist on Earth now? So it's part of them. They're immune. Yeah. Okay. They're fucking totally immune because it's in their bloodstream, but it's not in the dog's bloodstream.
Okay.
Right? So they inadvertently kill everybody. But they really don't. Because as the president literally only wants the kid killed. Okay? Right. So I get that. They have a host. The very first person, you know, candidate number 1 of any plague, they got to find that. Because if they find
patient zero,
yes, they can end it. They're patient 0 and they both fucking die. Our own avarice again.
Right. Sure.
It's because of the humans that we really destroy ourselves.
So you're saying that, like, when they take these bodies and they start experimenting or whatever, somehow it gets released.
Even stronger.
Okay.
The very first interaction with the dog, because we don't know if they ever had another interaction with the dog, right? In that was airborne, right?
Oh,
so it could live airborne.
But it's in their blood?
I would think so, because they've lived
how's it airborne?
Because it's probably it's something in their shit. It's like you bring home a cold or some shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like it lives in their olfactory glands or some shit.
Okay.
Because it's been there for 2,000 years.
I see.
You know, so it's there.
So it's almost like a symbiotic virus of some sort.
Yes, it keeps going, but it met whenever it's like a cosmic ray.
Dogs and everybody, it fucks them up.
Yeah, it kills them first. Kills the small ones first, and that dog was the first one. That was patient 0.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
I see.
But they end up fucking killing them, so they really can't use anything from them. You know, they can't use the live stuff. I don't know if they can use dead, probably.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
But then you can kind of tie that to Omega Man.
Fact.
But there's no apes in Omega Man, so they don't mention it, but in a weird way. But that's the linchpin. That is the catalyst to me.
To how it starts.
Mm-hmm. The cycle.
Gotcha.
The whole entire paradox starts there. Which is weird because they came from the future to the past, right? Taylor went from the past to the future. Right. So if Taylor didn't go, of course, we wouldn't have seen that.
When we are all done with these movies, I would love to talk about how to tie in those other 3 movies and how that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
We shouldn't do that yet.
No.
But like in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute.
But this is the beginning of that paradox. Yeah. And this is again where this movie kind of opened my eyes to the hugeness of it.
Right.
You know, I was like, God damn, no way. You know, how can they really do that? But and then it gets pretty serious because we have the cheeky part. It's fun, you know. She's got clothes and a cape, you know. And then it gets dangerous because they're locked up. They're about to kill the babies or the baby, and of course, luckily enough, the home dude that delivered the baby for Ricardo Montalban is like, hey, I got a place you can go. Because he gets pissed off. Continually, they call him monkeys, which is an insult.
Yeah, of course.
So Cornelius gets pissed, and he tosses a tray, and he's like, don't fucking insult my wife, bitch.
Inadvertently killing the guy. Because chimpanzees are crazy strong, just so you know, in real life.
Yeah, but Milo couldn't fight off a fucking gorilla.
Well, the gorilla had him from behind and was choking him out.
And they could have grabbed his hand.
The gorilla's also very strong.
Yeah. There was 3 of them. Could have fought him
I'm
off.
not saying you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Jack on the door moment in Titanic.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, no, there
Scoot
was plenty
over.
of room, asshole.
Scoot over, bitch.
Maybe if you 2 fuckos would have done something, you know. Dr. Milo, the genius, would have still been alive. We just lost Albert Einstein level intellect because you guys were like looking at it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dicks.
You could have ended the whole movie right here, motherfucker. We could have literally told them where we were from, how we got there, how we're not going to kill everybody. Yeah, but
Sorry.
so they do escape, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And there's the comedic moment where he walks up behind the dude and he hits the button. He's like, "Night, Fred." He's like, "I said good night."
Yeah, they sneak the fuck out.
Pretty easily too.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they're just like, pew,
They're smart apes.
just like Taylor and
Yeah.
what's her name?
Zira? No. What was
Nova.
her name? Nova.
So basically they meet the two other doctors out there, and they're like, okay. So they take her because she starts having labor pain. She says a week,
Yeah.
right? She's like, well, he's like, how long now? Well, a week or maybe less, you know? So they're thinking a week long, right? But yet she starts going through labor when they're running, right?
Well, it makes sense. You're given
Stress.
physical stress on the body. Yeah.
And it was stress for her, stress the whole situation, everything like that, knowing that they're going to kill your fucking baby.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn, it would be enough to put anybody in labor. But then they take her
To the circus.
and Ricardo Montalban's in there. And
Welcome to Fantasy Circus.
God dang, he's so smooth, man. He's like fucking badass. He's like, if we are to be ruled by a creature such as you,
By a
we would-
creature.
as beautiful as you, because chimpanzees are my favorite in the animal kingdom. I'll get better for next episode.
No, you're good.
But no. That I thought that was really cool.
Wait. Are you saying, is this like is Ricardo Montalban in the next one?
No.
Oh, I was like, damn. Somehow Armando stays around. I'm in, dude.
Armando. So they get into this whole. Well, she actually gives birth off camera,
Right.
and they show Natalie Trundy. She's looking. She's like, "Ooh," and fucking Ricardo Montalban is like, "Holy shit, let me turn around." And he's all, "Hey, it is Eloise. She is showing you what to expect." And she's like, "Mama." Mama. It's like, shut up. They're primitive. She's like, "Oh, baby."
Yep.
They're sponging it off.
Yep.
Cute little fucking chimpanzee baby. Come on.
How could you go wrong?
See, and this is where I paid attention again to the makeup, and I was like, it doesn't take me out of it.
Nah.
No, it really doesn't.
I think that the worst looking thing in this part was Eloise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They tried to make it natural, and yeah, at that point they weren't there. Fantasy was cool. John Chambers coming up with that fantasy makeup for it created a whole iconic image. Makes sense if it was an evolved ape.
But the regular chimp,
Not so much.
yeah, didn't look very good.
Yeah, it was James Belushi in a fucking suit with Lionel Joseph.
Well, and then our good doctor just says, "Hey, I got a place, the shipyard where I used to play. I can get you to." And she's like, "I just need another minute with Eloise before I go. I want to visit with her for just a minute."
Yes.
Aha!
I have a whole bunch of stuff written for that. Aha!
Things have happened.
Okay, so this is a profound fucking thing that I don't know if anybody really looked at it. The sacrifice that Eloise makes. How does she do it? So you got to think. She is a fucking primitive chimpanzee compared to Zira, so obviously stronger. There's no way Zira's going to walk into that cage and be like, "Give me your fucking baby, you take this one." The chimp will go fucking nuts if that baby's gone and has another baby in its place, probably fucking let that one die. You know what I mean? Right? We don't know the animal kingdom on that part of it. And then it's just, she says they understand, or they understand each other. Can she speak in a weird way?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe it's more empathetic speech.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mother to mother.
Mother to mother, and more with body language probably than actual,
Right.
But
how can a fucking ape, a primitive ape, mind you, compared to them, make the sacrifice of her own child for their race? That is a huge fucking deal. And because I really can't think that she would just go in there and be like, "Hey, look at my baby," and start kissing it, and be like, "Hey, you want to play with it? Yoink." Later.
Right.
Not going to happen. There's just no way. So it was that ape that could be the linchpin too.
Yeah.
Cause she actually was like, let's fucking go.
Well, and I think you're right. And there would definitely be some issues there. But I think motherly instinct may cause it to automatically be more of a,
yeah. It's something that we
parent.
we're never going to experience on that part.
We're dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my children.
Yeah, of course.
I'm very
of course.
protective.
But I didn't grow them inside my body.
Exactly.
So that
D's nuts. Sorry.
I really looked at that and thought, you got to think logically on how that would happen.
Absolutely.
And Armando knew.
Yeah.
He has to know, and the babies did look the exact same.
He definitely knew.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah.
Because
he says sort of towards the end, like he knows,
Yeah, he was ready for it.
Yeah.
So because he didn't go into the cage either.
No.
So we don't see what happened.
No, they just gave her complete privacy.
Yes.
With
So made sense,
Yeah.
right? So then we get to the shipyard, right?
So the first time you saw this, did you think that they switched the babies?
Of
Like
course.
At that time? I
Of
thought
course,
so too. I
yeah.
thought it just kind of led you there, right?
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yep. It was like, we can't do this any other way.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
And it made sense too, because she let her baby Milo go.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird part about it is they mention Aldo as being the one that says no. That starts the ape riots.
Right.
But it's
right.
His name is not Aldo.
That's what I was confused.
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute, wasn't it Caesar?
It's Milo, but he changes his name.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets to pick his name in the next one. You'll see.
Oh.
Pretty bitchin'.
Okay.
Yeah. So that they do make that reference. He played here as a kid? She's probably a lot cleaner back then. I don't think so. But it's unnerving too, because that she had to ditch her bag because she couldn't really carry it. Cornelius,
As soon as she did that too, I'm like, okay, well,
yeah, they're gonna find her.
Now they know her. Where's
she kind of hides it too.
She does, but I mean,
oil field workers going on a routine checkup. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I found a carpet bag. What is this? It's not a bum. Must be those goddamn apes. Right. What would make you'd just be like, I'm going to throw this shit away. I don't even know what it is.
I don't care.
Would you turn it in? Probably not.
Maybe if you knew that, like, there might have been something that said, hey, we're on the lookout for these blah, blah, blah in the area.
These were baby boomers too, so they probably really wanted to work.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. True.
Ouch. So they get busted. They know they're there. They're on their way over there because, they have to leave because Hessline orders, the search of all the circuses, menageries, zoos, everything in the whole entire area. Because he's like, I get it.
Yep.
Because they make that weird discovery, the one nerd dude, the mustachio guy that was on the recorder that was mixing. Dissect. Sounds like I got hiccups. Play it over again. No, but
he makes some really astute observation while he's getting coffee or something, and then everybody just looks at him like,
"Holy shit!" Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And the doctor just helped her give birth is sitting on the other side, and he's like, "Whoops." Ouch. They figure that one out quick.
Yep.
And so they have to leave. That's why they're in the shipyard, because
Yes.
Armando's like, "Nah, I'm sorry, but we can't do it." So they were going to stay there a week or something. I don't know. They got 4 oranges.
Yeah, until Armando was going to leave and take them to Florida with him.
Yeah. As soon, because they were going to go do their Florida trip.
Yeah. Florida trip.
Hey! My fingers!
Spring break. Spring break 73.
Spring break!
Well, grape juice plus. Spring break 73.
Great.
Daytona. Brought to you by Grape Juice Plus.
Grape Juice Plus. No, so there, and that's it is very unnerving that he really wants to kill him so bad.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think in his mind, that's the only way to be safe from the apes taking over. it's flawed logic, but it's some kind of logic.
It is, and that's
know?
why while you're like, fuck, both him and Zayas, you kind of almost in ways sympathize
Absolutely
with a decision that they would have to make for the whole.
For the betterment of the whole, yes.
For the whole instead of just the few.
Right.
Star Trek style.
Yeah.
So literally he's on there and he's like hiding from them behind shit and it's really quiet and he kicks open the door. Come on. You didn't know that was going to happen, stupid?
That baby knew that he was there.
Yes.
He's like, hey, wake up, bitch.
Yeah.
Wake up, not my mom.
Kicks that fucking door. It's like, whoop. Where's fucking Cornelius? What is he doing?
He's climbing up to look for a better, cleaner place for them to do something.
I don't know.
It's got to be a cleaner place than this.
Maybe if you went into not the mess hall.
Because of the feeding.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. And then he shows up and he's like, stop it, Zira.
Don't go any further. Stop it, Zira.
Yeah, I know. He catches her everywhere.
Zira.
She's like, God damn it, I can't get away from this.
And he never fires.
No, not until. She's actually got some room to run.
Yeah, like she's actually made it.
And that's so fucking shitty of him,
shoots
too.
The shit out of that baby, too.
3 bullets.
Boom, boom, boom.
And he does it like side style, too. Like fucking. He's
apparently not only a great scientist,
but he's a
gunslinger.
He's a hell of a shot. You don't want to fuck with him. And and of course we saw that Cornelius actually got the gun from the other doctor.
Yeah. And he shoots
Dr. Hessline from the air, but then a sniper shoots him.
Yep.
So okay. So Zira basically like she knows, so she throws the baby into the water. Right. And they're like, "Oh my God. That is so horrible," because it fucking is. Right. You get to watch these space creatures that came down. One had a baby. The baby gets fucking shot right in front of your eyes. And then the woman gets shot right in front of your eyes. And then the husband gets shot right in front of your eyes. You're watching all this death go through. It's what the fuck?
For sure.
All because of Dr. Hessline thinking that, you know what? We need to do it just like fucking Taylor.
Yeah. Showing
them the truth, And then we got the famous where he blows out, He's like you see that on all of the behind the scenes deals. They show that fucking forever.
And then of course we cut away to Armando. And we see Heloise and we see the baby. No, we just see the baby, right?
Well, yeah, kind of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of both together.
Yeah.
And then the baby's mama.
Yeah.
Mama. And it gets it out
it
after
just
6.
keeps going.
Yes.
Like after the picture's gone, you keep hearing
done.
Mama. Like, damn, okay, we get it.
So he's alive. So Dr. Hessline's dead.
Milo lived. Everybody sucks. Yeah. Hessline died. Zira.
But the two original doctors, or the two animal doctors or whatnot.
No, they're fine.
They're cool.
Yeah.
Which that fucking zoo hospital was just really shitty.
Yeah.
They mention they make 2 mentions of that in a weird way because whenever they're about to go to their inquiry, they have the chains on. And they're like, "Can't you fucking take these off?" Right. And finally, when they come back in, they take them off, and the doctor looks at him and he's like, "Oh, well, we do that shit to you guys all the time."
Yeah.
And then she does the fucking same thing whenever they're like, "Well, I don't want them sticking needles into my wife's stomach." And he's like, and she goes, "Well, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
So how does that make me any different?" So, which is really fucking cool. It's that commentary on itself.
Absolutely. And it's like a mutual understanding.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's intellectuals with intellectuals.
Right.
Not necessarily, but I guess Hessline being the ultimate intellectual, he just thought he was really saving the world.
So in another world, what was the main bad guy in Planet? The main, not bad guy, but the...
Dr. Zayas?
Zayas.
Yeah.
So Zayas versus Hessline in an ultimate fight of, like, just their, dedication to what they believe.
Zayas all the way.
You think so?
100%.
Yeah.
I think Hessline, you see a couple of moments in his performance that kind of lead you to believe is like he really believes he's doing right.
Yeah.
Zayas knows he's not doing right. Zayas doesn't
Fact.
give a fuck. Zayas is
You
like,
don't think Hessline's conviction would help him?
It did.
His true conviction? You know what I mean?
It really did. It condemned him.
Yeah.
Because he ended up shooting the baby, and shooting the mom at the same fucking time.
Yeah, they're both terrible.
Yeah, but Zayas, on the other hand, is just fucking horrible the whole goddamn time. Even whenever they go to the very end and they're looking at the bomb, he's like, "Fuck y'all guys."
Yeah.
You know
Zayas
what?
is just a douche.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
At least Hessline can say that this was for the betterment, like you said, of society.
They were just conquering.
What he believes
Yeah.
is the betterment of society.
Zayas stood by while the guerrillas go conquer. But he was still there.
Right.
But he's a minister of science. So what the fuck?
Right.
And then you got Dr. Hessline, which is basically our minister of science. And he's like, no, these fucking dudes this is crazy. And everybody's like, why? You don't have to fuck with them that much. It's like he knows something that they don't.
Or
just
least,
like Zayas.
Or at least he perceives that he knows something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like fucking Zayas. Yep. But Zayas is more harsh. And he's like, I will not change a thing. Yeah. If I can suppress it, I'm going to suppress it.
More of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's because of his avarice that they get destroyed. Is that the right term for it?
I believe so.
It's just, it's so crazy to see. It's like it doesn't change. So far, we have Planet. That's Taylor's Journey. in Novas.
Right.
Then we got Beneath. We didn't think that they could continue it with Beneath, but they could. Because there was a whole world there. Yeah. They destroyed that world. And then now, we're back on Earth. Let's inject some new fucking life.
1973, and the apes have come here.
Yes. Now they're on our turf. Yes.
Except for one.
Yes. And that one.
Jesus. He is the Jesus ape.
He is the Jesus.
Arms held out in a Jesus ape pose.
What was it? I was watching Superman the other day. You know how many Jesus Christ poses that Superman does in those movies? Not the newest ones, but I'm talking about like Superman Returns and then even the Henry Cavill ones too. Yeah. Always Jesus Christ pose. And you're like, so Krypton gave its only begotten son? I always think about that shit because it makes sense. Kal-El is God.
So we will stay tuned, dear listener, and before that, let us know what you think about these movies, specifically this last Escape from the Planet of the Apes, or any of the other ones you want to talk about, any ape talk you might want to have. You can do that at dropculture.com, dropculturepodcast@gmail.com, or on like the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Threads.
Yeah, Threads. Yeah, whatever the fuck
I
that
don't
new
know what
shit
that
is.
is.
But just
YouTube comments.
If this is your first time learning about the Planet of the Apes, really look into it.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Marvel person or a DC person or any kind of franchise
or soap opera person, which is all the same thing, just without superpowers.
Exactly. If you're into that type of a deal, you'll notice how this was like a blueprint for the way that they can continue 100%. Shit accurately.
Yeah.
But they gloss over some shit. So just look at it objectively.
But you're kind of right. It's one of the earliest universes being built.
Cinematic universes.
Cinematic universes to this degree.
Big time. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we'll talk more off mic. All right. Later, dudes.
Peace.
But it's Bo and Luke Duke meet the fucking Planet of the Apes, pretty much.
Yeah, you should definitely put that on the drive.
It's fucking awesome.
Did you see the movie I sent in the thread the other day? Yesterday? No, day
Yeah,
before?
I think so.
Justice League 1997, the
Yes!
TV pilot. We're going to do that after Apes. We have to.
Okay.
I watched it. It is terrible. Just think of a Justice League. Who's the first person you think of in the Justice League?
Superman.
Okay, no Superman. Go.